this is Coach Justin from Tabula Rasa Racing. In this video, I'll talk about my coaching philosophy. And there are three key aspects that I would say accurately describe my philosophy towards endurance coaching. And the first one would be consistency is key. In terms of consistency, I'll just go ahead now first describe it. Consistency is the ability for the athlete to execute at a particular level of intensity and the body able to absorb and recover such that the time period that the athlete is down is minimized. And so what I have found is that athletes who are consistent are the ones that have the greatest success. And so you could say, those people that if you want to be good at something, you have to do it often. But that is not the same thing as saying, well, if I want to be better, then I just have to do it more, because that's not always the case. It would be my job to prescribe to you the correct intensity and control the impacts on the body. And so, we have to go into this knowing, all right, this is what I did yesterday. This is what I have coming up tomorrow. So I need to execute this today. We have to take that to account. Otherwise, doing it incorrectly could potentially lead you to be inconsistent as you struggle through injuries and just burnout. And so my job as a coach to sometimes protect the athlete from themselves and to monitor their ability to absorb the fitness. And when I find that they're not absorbing it, then it's my job as their coach to say, okay, now we need to peel back the fatigue a little bit. Because ultimately, I want you to be able to go day after day, training session after training session, and I want you to enjoy training. I want you to enjoy this process. That's not to say that you're going to go in and you're going to love that workout every single day, because there are going to be times where you're tired and you're sore and you don't want to work out. You're stressed from your job and you just want to just sit and veg for a little bit. And I totally get that. As an endurance athlete myself, I've experienced that over the years where, I was just burnt and just wanted to just do nothing. But I found that as you break through those little ceilings, those are what I call stealing moments. And it's the STEELING. And they are character building moments, because there's going to be a time during your race or your event where you want to quit, you want to stop, and you want to walk, and you just want to throw in the towel. You're just like, I'm just done. And I believe that it's those workouts where you fight through it and just go ahead and just push through and just do what it is that you may not want to do in that moment, that there's something special that you learn from those moments. And it's cumulative over an athlete's career, all of those moments where they have learned something new about themselves and they've gone beyond their self-imposed boundaries. And I think that's a beautiful thing to see. And so unless the athlete can be consistent, it robs you of those opportunities to learn, to become wise. There's more to training and being an athlete than just knowledge. There's more to just knowing paces and cadence rates and stroke rates and things like that. That's knowledge. That's different from wisdom. And being consistent generates wisdom. The second aspect of my coaching philosophy, I would say, is patience is a virtue. There have been many times where I've come across athletes who, what I would call them checkbox athletes. They want to check off that, hey, I did this, I ran a marathon, I did a full Ironman, and there's really no significant athletic development. As you become consistent and you are patient, this builds and builds a maturity level within the athlete. And, as I said before, if you're not able to be consistent, you're robbing yourself of these opportunities. And sometimes if an athlete is become impatient, that also takes away these valuable opportunities for them to learn about different situations that they're going to find themselves in. As in with many sports, there's a natural progression that you would go through. In running, you have the 5K, 10K, half marathon, full marathon, even ultras. And there's something that you can learn a little bit from each of those steps, even though, I wouldn't say that there's much in common between a 5K and a marathon. Completely different strategy, different execution, different training demands. But I think that for the marathoner, there's something to learn by doing 5Ks. I think there's some development that's there, whether it be character development, things that you learn about yourself, but there's also the physical development that you would achieve by following this natural progression. The same thing can be said with triathlon. There's a progression there where you have the sprint, the Olympic, the half Ironman, and the full Ironman. This is a journey, and it's a process that you go through. And I think shortcutting the journey and the process just robs you of really seeing who you are, not as just an athlete, but as a person. And many of these instances are character building moments. And I hate to see it when an athlete opts to go the faster route, because I feel like there's something that they miss out on. The third aspect of my coaching philosophy, I feel, is communication is vital. This is a relationship that we have, and it's between coach and athlete, and communication plays an important role in all relationships, regardless of what kind of relationship they are, whether it's a spousal or a romantic relationship or a friendship or just a co-working relationship. Relationship growth and the depth of that relationship is hindered when communication is limited or halted, and is not open. There's a free flow of information back and forth. I know that makes me a better coach, and I believe that the athlete has a chance to learn from the coach when there is more communication. Now, there are some athletes who just like to have the plan and they want to execute that plan, and by all means, that's great. I do think that does kind of hinder the relationship between the athlete and the coach. I want my athletes to ask me questions, and I want more communication back and forth. And, for instance, the training plan, let's say that I only get about 2 to 3 hours, if I'm lucky, of the athlete's day when it comes to executing that day's sessions. And so that means that there's like 22 to 23 more hours in the day where there are other things that are impacting your performance and your life in general and the overall quality of your life. And so as your coach, I want to know about those things. I want communication to be more than just, hey, how many miles did you get in? How did it feel? How do your legs feel? If the athlete is married, I want to know, well, how is that relationship going? You don't need to go into complete detail, but I think knowing some of those aspects is important because it sheds some light onto the stresses that you may be experiencing. How's work? Do you have a new project that's going on that's a little bit more stressful? All of that stuff is interconnected. And so it definitely affects performance. It affects the ability of the athlete to recover from sessions. And so I think by me having more insight into you as the athlete, I'm able to plot a better course and make adjustments when needed. And I think that's key. So in this video, we talked about my coaching philosophy and how I approach my relationship with athletes. And I would say that those three aspects are: consistency is key, patience is a virtue, and communication is vital. Those three things really envelop how I look and how I approach coaching in my relationship with my athletes. If you have any questions about any of the services that we offer at Tabula Rasa Racing or any of the content that is in the website, feel free to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to talk with you and answer any questions that you have. And thank you for watching.